I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
President Gardner,
Present.
Vice President Dover,
Present.
Commissioner Spauller, present, Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Santee,
Present.
Solicitor Stone,
Here.
and Manager Patterson. Here.
Thank you. First item is approval of the meeting minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the workshop meeting of April 13th, 2015.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
I have corrections,
Okay.
clarifications. Page 6, first paragraph. Next to last line. Says the possibility raised that residents, Masonic, and something industrial parks, I don't know what that is. It should be, and the industrial businesses instead of industrial parks, okay? And then the next under new business, I stated that he, I guess that's me, plus the authority chairman and the authority's consulting engineer had a meeting with Senator Smith and asked for the $250,000, so forth and so on. And in the second paragraph, 1, 2, 3, fourth line, and it says, found in the study that Aleppo Township rate is actually going up 31% based on reallocation. It ends there, and that's not the end of that sentence. Reallocation of the amount of revenue now required from the resale customers, namely Aleppo Township and others. So in other words, what has happened is they changed the amount that the resale customers are supporting under the new one as compared to the old one. So by doing that, then the rates have raised. Capiche? So that all
Got
ties
this.
together.
Specific wording. Okay.
You got that? And then the last sentence. He believes Westview Water is the only viable option. Put the word viable in there for the township supply. The authority's consulting engineer, put the word authority, is going to review the water budget for 1955 and 50 and 19. I'm back to my high school days here or something. 2015 and 2016, and will determine the impact on the residents or on the rates, either way. Thank you. That's all I have.
Just related to that, the question came up is what's the status of our request? And I sent an email to the commissioner, or the county commissioner who represents us. And they said that our application is logical, it's in process. So we know it will be considered.
I thank everybody who's inquired, because the more people we can get on that bandwagon, the better it is for us. Thank you.
Which bandwagon are we speaking of?
The grant from the authority, the $250,000 grant.
So while that's come up, a couple people took note of my note in the digest to write to our senator and representative, and Mustio doesn't know what we're talking about.
It's not surprising.
Geez, I've talked to him about it.
So he's asking specifically, is there a name for this that we can tell people?
What's all in it? Yeah, there is. We provided, Rod, we gave, was it Commissioner Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave him a complete rundown of the project, and it's been issued. Senator Smith certainly has it.
Well, I'll try to communicate with Mark again, but I'm surprised to hear that. Okay, any other discussion on the minutes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, without objection, I'm gonna change the agenda to move the M sewer project up to the next item for discussion. So let's begin on that.
I brought with me updated versions of the ordinance, only updated though to attach the maximum debt service schedule. It reflects the maximum 10 million par amount of the bonds.
Can we throw away all
Otherwise-
this other paper here?
I'm sorry?
Can we throw away all this other paper we keep receiving?
You can throw away I don't think I passed it around last week though.
You didn't? I don't think so.
Maybe Glenn had put it in your packets last week.
I'm becoming inundated with subject here.
You can always get it, so the answer is always yes, you can always throw it away because I'm always more than happy to provide. you.
Yeah. Should put revision 15 or something, so we know where we're going. Okay, thank you.
George,
So this document, again, I won't belabor the details, but this is the formal action of the board that will authorize the bonds, the refunding of the 2011 bonds for debt service savings. It sets the savings target at a minimum of $800,000, authorizes all further action by the township board to sign a bond purchase agreement once an underwriter's been decided upon, and then finally close the issue, which would happen approximately 30 days or so after we sell the bonds. We properly advertised for this in the newspaper leading up to tonight's meeting, so it is ready for action. Mr. Stone?
So the board knows I reviewed both the advertising and the draft of the ordinance, and they are in compliance with the Unit Debt Act and the other requirements for advertising. So I have no problem with it legally. In fact, it's very similar to the one that we passed for the first bond issue.
mhm. Okay,
And if we did another one, it would probably look a lot the same.
okay.
And what is the savings?
Doesn't give you any sense of
Guaranteed at $800,000.
That doesn't give you.
The
any sense of
transaction
comfort.
wouldn't happen unless the underwriters and your financial advisor could show you a transaction that saved you at least $800,000. Otherwise, this just sits on the shelf and does nothing.
And by the way, I didn't mean to be flippant about that. Actually, this is an ordinance that's required under the Pennsylvania Unit Debt Borrowing Act. All municipalities that borrow money or who float bond issues are required by law to adopt an ordinance like this one authorizing the incurring of the debt. So this is a necessary step in any type of a financing over and above a certain amount. But typically 125 is a small borrowing, as they call it under the law, and you can do that without an ordinance. But anything over 125,000, you must adopt by ordinance.
Is this statement completely correct then, as written?
Yes, I've reviewed it and.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I need a motion to enact an ordinance authorizing the incurrence of non-electoral debt in the maximum principal amount of $10 million for the purpose of refunding the township's 2011 bonds for debt service savings. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
President Bartner?
Yes.
Vice President Dilbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Scholar? Yes. Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Singh?
Yes,
Motion carried.
Gwen, what I was trying to ask, do you have the projection of savings that PFM developed for Joanne?
I can get
The little one pager?
Yeah, I'll get it.
We have a projection of the savings. 800,000 is the minimum that we would accept.
That's if they sell these bonds.
Yes.
So, but otherwise, they just.
We will not move forward. We will not move forward unless that's the minimum saving. we're actually hoping for an excess of, we're,
Enough. That's enough.
Okay,
And with that,
thank you, Sean.
thank you very much. Call me if you have any questions.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for
still
coming.
running for office.
Give away secrets. Okay. Now the next section is on reports. The first item is A, public safety. You've been very quiet so far over there.
Yes, sir. What are you gonna do tonight? How you doing? Holding Town Police Activity, Lippert Township, for the month of March. Typical alarmed residence 3, alarmed business 3, a drug violation. This was a car stop, with some young individuals up on, Duff Road, in the far reaches of the Lippert Township. That part you don't know about.
Mhm. I've been there.
Been there. They were routine patrol. He noticed the vehicle for young people in it, a marijuana violation. They were cited and sent back to their families.
Isn't that legal?
It'll be legal soon.
Not
At
yet,
the time.
but they didn't go to.
Do you want that or you don't
So
want that?
that's.
What do you, well, I don't know. Put you on the
You
spot.
know, do we need another legal intoxicant? I don't know. Just, I think sometimes when you do those things, it encourages kids to even more to do it. So, no, I would say just take it away.
Well, they say for medical reasons only. Well, that's what Colorado did, as I
Yeah,
recall.
exactly that.
Everybody got it.
Every place.
It's gonna be legal.
It will be. The dumping violation, down on Waterworks Road, someone dumped some dirt. A domestic, alcohol again involved, another reason why.
Is that legal?
Alcohol is legal.
There you go, I rest my case, what can I say?
Another domestic alcohol related, disabled vehicles, and road department call outs, vehicle lockouts, couple of those, the traffic issues. And, one of my guys did, spend a little time, an individual down on Red Gate was complaining about speeding vehicles. We spent some time down there, he did a little, report to me. He clocked 123 vehicles, and 7 of those vehicles were stopped for speeding. This was over a period between March 12th and April 7th. Do people speed down there? Sure they do, but
Downward, this is
on
my
Red
motion.
Gate.
On
Red
Red
Gate.
Gate.
Yeah, it's usually a quitting time at the village, and a lot of workers cutting down their kind of for a shortcut. And they do occasionally, but it's not. I would stress it's not as bad as what some of the complaints have come in the past. The complaint will always constant, but they sit there and they monitor the cars, and out of 123, we was only able to cite 7 of them. So that's within the margin of error, I would say.
Listen.
Any other questions,
No.
issues, problems?
No, thank you. We'll accept the report.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
Yes, sir.
Fire department, no report. Emergency management, we have an action. I need a motion to adopt resolution adopting Aleppo Township's emergency operations plan. This was distributed, discussed last week.
There was, Judy gave a presentation last week about the emergency operations plan. There was one outstanding question about whether or not the Aleppo Township Authority's disaster, emergency plan would be included, and that was clarified that it will not be included in the public plan. It would be included in the private disaster recovery plan for the township. So it would not be made public, but it is being made available to our emergency operations center. So that issue's been settled.
Has that been passed back to Judy?
Yes.
She's heard that? She's
Yes.
okay with that?
Yes.
Yes,
So that takes care of it as far as I understand.
yeah, I talked to her.
I did it verbally, you did it verbally and email.
Great.
So I move to adopt the resolution adopting Aleppo Township's emergency operations plan.
I second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public Works.
Tom's on vacation, so
Okay,
we can go over some of the things here. Did you want to do different, this report first, or?
sure, right.
Report, up until Friday would be put up new signs on McCoy Place and South McCoy Place. Those are the new directional signs saying, you know, part of the way in it says South McCoy is 1,500 or 3,500, whatever feet ahead on the left. New South McCoy Place road sign that spells out the word south and a large arrow that points it also. So we're hoping that some of those directional signs will help deliveries and emergencies and everything else without having to change the name at this point. We wanted to give that a test run and see how that works out for a while. Rebuilt the plow for truck 58. Removed the spreaders from the trucks, put them away, put the plows away. That's a whole day process of deconstructing equipment. Millings on Habala Road. We still own Habala Road, and it is barely passable in certain parts of it. And so they've been operating under the instructions to do the bare minimum on it. And so, but it got to the point where they had to put some millings in just to be able to drive the own trucks over it. So it's still something that needs to be discussed about the future of that road. Started litter cleanup along roads in the township. I don't know if you noticed it when it was in progress. As you went down Deer Run, you could tell where they'd been, because then you could tell where they hadn't gotten to yet, and it was a huge difference. So they finished Deer Run, and then they're gonna work on some of the other roads. Blow off the roads in the township, like leaf cleanup and everything for, you know, now that it's spring. Fixed a sinkhole on the side of Weber Road, and started the spring grass cutting. So that's his report. Then also in your packet, you have preliminary public works summer project list, and that's just our beginning working list, and Tom and Tony are going to meet to go over the list, flesh it out some more, and figure out schedules and things like that.
Good timeline.
Do we have any responsibility for River Road down in Hayesville? Do we
I think they plowed to the end, but that's
plow?
all. No potholes, repairs, anything like that.
There is a pothole right at where River Road is right adjacent to the boulevard. As you're going down and turning right, you gotta
Call 1-800-FIX-ROAD. The more people that call, the more attention it gets, but that's the PennDOT hotline. 1-800-FIX-ROAD. So if you have any concerns about state roads, call them, log in your complaint. You get a person, and you can just describe your complaint, and they say thank you and pass it on. But the more people that call about those kind of things, the better attention you get.
Okay, good.
And one other thing, that they are going to start, finish their tree cutting. They started it last year, and so they are renting equipment to do the tree cutting again. And hopefully starting the first week of May, and the first area they're going to be on are the ridge, in the ridge of the circle and the manor. So they're going to do doing some tree work up in there, removing a couple of pine trees at the intersections of the Swickley Ridge Circle and Swickley Ridge Drive. There's some visibility issues there, so just wanted to let you guys know that.
Okay. Very good. Now I need a motion to approve the change order from El Grande Paving for improved road base materials on Overlook Drive.
Well, I think Tony's already made that motion.
I did make it. I'll make it again if you want.
I just need to take it off the table and put it back on the agenda.
Now we need a motion to take this.
So I moved to take Tony's motion off the table.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. So now we,
Accordingly, let me make a motion that we approve the change order to improve the, not only the base, but the whole structure of the road for Overlook Drive to make it more suitable for heavy traffic. It was originally designed for residential traffic. And as a result, our new engineer and we concur, it will not stand up under the wheel loads of the trucks that go up and down that traffic, up and down that road. So therefore, make the motion that we approve the additional cost.
I second.
okay.
Okay.
So, just to be technically correct, there's a motion printed here. Is that satisfactory? Because you read a rather long motion.
Well, okay, you can do that. It would seem to me,
Basically, it's to beef up the road.
would you like to know what the change order is?
No.
You don't?
Okay. I need, well, that's the motion. Okay, need
Well,
a
you should
second.
put the change order number in.
Change order number 2. Joanne seconded it.
Okay. Need a roll call vote, please.
President Gardner,
Yes.
Vice President Dobler,
Yes.
Commissioner Scholar,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes,
Commissioner Lasanti.
Yes,
Motion carries. Next is communications.
I don't have anything. I'm gonna save all my time for COG.
Okay.
what?
Times they call.
Planning and zoning. I have motion to approve Louis and Son subdivision plan.
These were plans that we talked about last week, and I spoke to the engineer today, and they submitted revised plans that answered all of the comments from both from the engineer and from the county. So he said that in his opinion, they're clear to be approved.
I move to approve the Louis and Sons subdivision plan with corrections and additions.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to approve Trapisano Mendocino subdivision plan with additions and corrections.
Second.
Roll call. Wait,
President Gardner,
yes.
Vice President Dobler,
Yes.
Commissioner Scholar,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes,
Commissioner Lasanti.
Yes,
Motion carried. We got, okay, that covers both of them. Tax collector, I think she's here.
She's here.
You have the reports, and we are looking good. The tax collection for March, earned income, $24,171.42. Business privilege, $586.51. Local service, $3,744.15. Property tax, $78,882.47. Delinquent real estate tax, $116.43. And realty transfer taxes, $901.60, for a total of $402.58. As you can see on the 15 spreadsheet, we have now collected to date $187,154. And I also ran for you copies of the 213 and the 214 tax. And I think I would prefer to save paper each month if you would if you're interested, kind of hold on to them or hide them under your chairs or whatever. But we are doing well, and it's fairly at the end of March last year, we had collected $95,270, and the end of March in 2013, we had collected $89,207. So we are ahead. I still think probably the biggest thing is the EIT being deducted from everyone's paycheck makes such a difference.
yeah, big time.
It's hard to avoid that one.
Makes it easy.
Other than that, questions?
Charlotte, I have 2 pages here that are both 2013. Did I just,
Turn it over.
One of those is mine.
I didn't get one.
there's 213, and then on the other
Yeah.
side is 214.
okay.
Did you get one, Joanne?
I do not have 13.
It's on either side.
It's on the back.
13's on one
13
side.
on one side,
Now
14
we're
on the other.
done.
Okay. So, that is today.
It's a good history, thank you.
I tell you, computers are great when you don't delete.
And they don't crash.
Any other questions on that?
Okay.
Quite good.
We'll accept the tax collector's report, treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report for March. The PNC account has a balance of $369,622.02. The Pliget general account, $155,193.13. The Pliget Plus account, $753,964.97. The liquid fuels is $8,870.81. $7,433.07 was transferred to the general fund to pay salt bills.
Mhm.
And I think we're up to date on salt bills, pretty much.
We have a whole bunch more in here. so
Okay.
I may have more.
They've been calling me. The reserve Pliget account has $103,407.47. The capital improvement account has $423,801.15, and that's the road construction. The PA Invest account is $15,743.26. On hand, $1,830,602.81, and operating funds deducting the anticipated and obligated funds, $1,278,780.12. The sewer bond fund for information purposes is at $352,500.07. And the unexpended bond funds, I believe, are still the same at $437,677.29. And hopefully Glenn will let me know if that changes. Any other questions?
How did I see that we're not gaining any dividends? These have not been transferred to the Pliget fund?
This is through the end of March.
So
So
we're not in
that's all in process right now. That's all the stuff.
It's all, we have
switching and
signed
moving around.
all the
Signed all the
forms,
forms.
So we're gonna get some real money now.
Yes.
Okay.
relative.
Well, everything's relative, I understand that.
Any other questions?
But anything over 15 cents is good.
The amount,
Is this crazy?
the amounts that we have on hand in these various accounts, are there any guidelines for a township as to what's reasonable to have on
No, I
hand?
think this is what we're working with the Pliget transfers into CDs and so forth. They'll still be on hand.
Mhm.
The capital investment account is the one that we want to do for the paving and so forth.
Yeah.
Liquid fuels is road stuff.
Just
I don't know that
enough
there is
reserves,
any-
but not too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Party is probably hold.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Where is the debt service?
The
Capital,
sewer,
capital.
it's included in here. It's not broken out separately as far as the amount that is available.
Hmm.
I think it's the 28,000. Do you want that shown too?
No, I just want to know where it is. Which,
It's in this account, the sewer bond.
Sewer budget account.
We're holding it in that same account and that we make the payments from.
so that, okay. So it's about 28.
About 28. Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Finance. Need a motion to approve the March bill list in the amount of $51,713.85.
I move to approve the March bill list in the amount of $51,713.85.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to ratify the March prepaid bill list in the amount of $23,797.31.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to ratify the March payroll transfers in the amount of $16,364.21.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We could have taken those all as one, I think, but remember that for next time.
Do you want me to list them with just the one motion for all of it?
Yeah, if it's something that's, we don't anticipate any need for discussion, like just
I'll group them next time.
Aleppo Township Authority. Guess that's Mr. Levine.
I think I mentioned at the workshop, the outstanding items that we're working on, and that's the Westview water rates. And I talked to Harlan, and we're going to try to meet with Westview and discuss it a little more before we get around to signing the agreement. So there are a couple of issues. Beside the rate, we think we may qualify for some consideration because we do have a standby system to handle fire flow with Swickley. And so we're going to present that to Westview. We're also going to talk about why are we paying a larger share of the freight. And we'll also talk about that they certify the pressure and the quality, which are still two items we want to see in that agreement. So, okay, we're going to have a meeting with them and sit across the table and we'll see what comes out of it. So we have to do something. I've just looked at the preliminaries on the water from the sewer authority, and the water is limping along. We're losing money. We're burning cash. And I think early on in this discussion about the landslide, I thought it was going to cost us about $50,000 for that landslide. It now has cost us $49,000 so far as an unbudgeted expense. We're carrying that. And and our consulting engineer will be presenting at our meeting tomorrow his preliminary estimate of what we will have to raise our rates to take care of this new rate increase by Westview and to get this water group and water department in the black. I must tell you that water department was run like a mom and pop store. Everything was cash. When they had money at the end of the month, they bought a truck or they bought something, but they never put aside money for contingency, never put aside money for capital. And therefore, the contingencies happened, the capital happened, and we're now down to about $20-some thousand in cash. 28,000 to be precise. So
Good luck.
let me contrast that with the sewer. The sewer is a lot of good news now, since we've resolved some of the sewer flow problems, provided we don't get hit again by some unknown thing from Swickley. The sewer budget is good. It's well within the budget. We are generating income that is going into the capital fund and then is going into the contingency fund. So we are generating a fair amount of money now in the capital fund and in the contingency fund. So real happy with the P&L and the balance sheet and the cash flow in the sewer. So that's the good news. So that's where we are. Other than that, I have nothing else to report.
So I have two questions for you.
Yes, sir.
First, I've heard from a fair handful of people that it seems reasonable that we negotiate or contact other water source providers.
You can do that, but there's nobody that has.
I understand, and I say this to everybody. I say, Tony says there's nobody else out there.
Well, let me tell you.
Just let me.
Can I answer your question? We've contacted Moon.
You have contact?
Yes.
Okay.
They tell us that they do not have a water line that's available.
Okay.
And they're topped off. We've talked to Edgeworth.
Okay.
Any other one? And I'm very familiar with Edgeworth, as you know.
Yeah.
and they're nowhere near, it would cost us quite a bit of money for sewer. They keep saying, who's going to pay for the water line to get to where we need it to go? So it's a big deal. And they're in the midst of negotiating. They have to renew their contract with Ambridge. So that's up in the air. If you look at everybody else's rates around here, Swickley, even with this increase from Westview, Swickley is still significantly more than Westview.
Tony, just hear me saying, I'm not espousing this. I'm saying people want me to say to you, if nothing else, all we'd like to do is price out an alternative. Price out an alternative. Come up with a set of numbers that say, if we were to walk away from Westview, where could we go? Where else could we go, and what would the price be?
Well, what I'm telling you is that the two likely sources are telling me,
well,
there's no
You
way.
want numbers, is that what you want?
I hadn't appreciated, and you might, if you had said this in the past, it hadn't clicked to me that you'd actually spoke with Moon,
We
that
spoke
you
with
actually
you.
spoke with Edgeworth.
Yes.
I didn't appreciate it.
And in fact, I've asked Edgeworth, I asked the superintendent to get together with Bill and see if they can walk and find a route.
Right.
And he's saying, I doubt it, but
Right.
Tony, if you ask me.
You're talking about a physical line.
Yeah,
right,
and see if there's something that we don't know.
Right.
And he said, since you asked me, I'll do it.
Mhm.
But he says,
Would that be worth an example of how, and they may not want to go this route, but saying they'll come up with a plan on how to get the water here, and then we have to find out what that's going to cost you.
well, we can do that. I
I
mean,
mean, I think that's the example that
you
might
know.
work, and say, well, here's one hypothetical situation.
well, it's okay. Maybe I need to go back and redo my engineering and do a project for you. But it's so blatantly obvious that
Okay.
maybe I can get a student to do it or something. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious that I don't know what I can tell you. The other thing we could do is I can give you a table again, Swickley versus Westview.
Yep.
That's
I
easy.
think that's all they're looking for.
Yeah,
Just
well, I
want a
mean-
contrast.
I'll do it. I'll do it for every.
But I think the thought goes a little deeper than just, I mean, and maybe I'm naive,
Okay.
but there's no benefit to asking them if the rate is negotiable, the rate is set.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. What do you
Okay.
think? That's why I'm going to sit across the table.
No, I'm not talking about Westview. I'm talking about with other suppliers. Is it worth approaching other suppliers and saying, would you be interested in us as a customer? And if you are, would you be interested in negotiating a rate other than what's on your rate card?
But they're not interested in us. as a
Well, Swickley would be interested in us as a customer, right?
How many battles do you want us to fight with there?
If it's,
We've been wounded a number of times. You still haven't heard the end of the sword thing, but I'll do what you want. I'll give you a list of what it would cost to go to Swickley, what it would cost to go to Coriopolis, what it would cost to, who else was running a water system around here? Shaler, who?
Shaler Hampton.
Shaler Hampton. I'll give you all those numbers.
Right. Most of those would have to put in a considerable amount of pipe to.
Well, yeah,
Why that's not
That-
pipe,
I
that's
think
what I'm telling
that's
you.
the, see, you have, excuse me if
Go
I,
ahead.
you have two suppliers who are already connected to your system. So they can tell you how much it would cost as a matter of rate
That's simple.
because you're already connected.
Mhm.
Now, as you get further away, now you have to start thinking about who's going to build the infrastructure and what the cost of
Exactly.
constructing those additional lines would be. I would think, just from the little bit that I know, that anytime you've got to build the connections, depending on how far you're going and what the terrain is like, that you're almost always going to be dealing with a more expensive rate to recapture that than you are with your two existing systems.
I would tend to agree, and again, I'm not
I know you're.
arguing with you. I just want to represent people who want to hear that, see that number
Yeah.
in black and white.
Well, just to follow up, let's look at Moon, for example. Their rate is quite competitive. If they could get us the water, it would be worthwhile. Well, first, they're being stressed now because they're growing. Second, their water plant is sitting way up on the hill, and they have only a very small line coming down to the river, which would not be able to support us. And then they got to get across the river.
Yeah, right. I hear you. I
I
understand.
mean, you're looking at big time money.
I don't see that we should put our staff to an amount of work to research this whole subject when we just by looking at it, we know that all these options are not realistic.
Seriously.
I hear.
Well, I mean, a Sewickley versus Westview
Well, those-
comparison makes a lot of sense
Well,
because you always have those options.
Yeah, that's easy. All I have to do is, I've done it before. I'll just put it on a nice sheet of paper.
Let's start with that.
Okay, I'll have that for you next meeting.
All right. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
I may even look at Corey. I'll look at, well, even Coriolis can't get here. Who else can get here? I don't know. I'll look at it.
All right, so that was my first question. The second question is the crowd favorite of electronic billing.
Oh, God. Don't talk to me about that.
Last I hear people saying,
It's a fiasco.
okay,
Let me tell you, it's a fiasco. And the whole software system, I think, I don't want to get too deeply involved here, but I'm questioning even some of the revenue we're now getting because of the follow-up on the software system. And I have them going back to the drawing board in the water. I've got people looking at this. We've got a lot of work to do.
okay.
Can I add just what I know from being in the office?
Yes.
Nicole actually printed for me the multiple emails that she keeps getting from the software program saying, we're pushing you back, we're pushing you back, we're pushing you back. Working out some issues, vague. Working out a few issues on your end with our new customer portal. I need to reschedule again your training to later this week, so they keep pushing her back. And she sent out the flyers to everyone saying it's ready at their direction. And you can go partway and set it up a little bit, but then it says come back later or something like that. It's still not ready. She keeps checking every day and it's still not ready yet.
Okay.
And as I said, and I traced back to the revenue when made that switch, even that is out of sync. And I have our consulting engineer, I have our other auditor looking at it. We got to go back to ground zero. This is all followed up here.
Okay.
It's beyond our capability to do it here. I've got to get somebody else to do it.
What is beyond our capability? To go back to
Software,
electronic?
yeah.
So if it's a software issue,
It's a package that they purchased
Mhm.
sounds like they're.
to upgrade for the
software
electronic billing,
issue.
but
Mhm.
there have been a lot of kinks in the new software.
So if you can remedy the software issue.
Well, what I want to do, and I should have done it originally, I should have just gotten a girl from Edgeworth and paid her to do it, because she has all those running down there, every one of those communities.
Okay, thanks.
I may still have to do that.
Okay, anything else for that subject?
I'm sorry, I thought,
Should never speak too soon, right?
yeah, well, yes, you're right.
Okay. We'll accept that. The next report is COG.
Holy smokes.
Now you're on the,
Something's going on at.
So the COG has terminated the secretary and is now in the process of trying to basically figure out, that's 50% of its workflow. So now they're trying to figure out how they're going to restructure themselves. Do they want to, the new question is, do they want to outsource paying bills? They pay, I think, 18 bills a month. Do they want to outsource paying bills? Or do they want to just hire a bill payer? That's all unknown. I think the plan is to get a temp to handle the secretarial work between now and the time that they can come up with a replacement. They've hired an intern, or they're interviewing to hire an intern. And you'll be sad to hear that
They're not gonna have the dinner.
the president has
Oh,
canceled the
no.
dinner.
They canceled the dinner.
Well, it's a very contentious issue because it came up at the meeting and it was not met with favor, the idea of canceling the dinner. Lots of reps said they wanted to keep the dinner. And then rather summarily, in an email, the president decided that he was going to cancel the dinner, and there's some pushback to that as well. So I would say, in a word, the COG is unsettled right now.
You know what? When I was there 2 years ago, it was the same issue.
Did they cancel the dinner?
No, they didn't.
I figured canceling
They
the
didn't
dinner
do the
was.
dinner, but they wanted to fire the secretary.
It's an atomic move. I like that. So,
They're also moving their office.
oh yeah, they're also moving their office in the midst of all this.
Aside from your time, how does this ineffectiveness affect us?
We still get
Is this
our
hurting
salt
us at all?
cheaper. We still get our salt.
I don't-
cheaper.
I mean, Yeah,
Yeah, I could. Matt,
go please.
Beverly did bookkeeping and secretarial work. And so a lot, having someone else in the office to help get the contracts out and that kind of thing is necessary in the COG office. So I think that they need to get somebody else in place.
You know, they've asked
Another-
for township managers to volunteer their time to go help. They're moving right down onto 65, right across from Frew Plumbing.
It's one of those, it's a house that's broken into offices.
Or the lawyer,
The judge, yeah.
the judge, yeah, what's his name?
Yeah,
Marmot,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, they're moving into that house.
But the services we contract with or through the COG,
Salt
salt
and trash.
and garbage, is that it? Those are two fairly significant contracts.
Definitely.
And are we comfortable that they're properly negotiating those?
The trash contract, I think that we have to start next year. I think that's
It's
up
last
next
year,
year.
yeah.
So that was a concern brought up at the managers meeting was, hey, do we want these certain things in our contract? So make sure that more office help, even if part-time. I think Beverly's part-time. I think
Yeah, I
more
know.
part-time
She
office
was.
help is.
Yeah.
I don't want to belabor this point, but I know a little bit about it too, because I am their solicitor. So I can tell you that the complaints that were made over the years weren't directed at the administrative aspect of it, but it more had to do with the bookkeeping and the secretarial. So the guy who's the executive director, he's the one who actually sends out the contracts, bids them, and that wasn't the source of the problem. The problem was more in the back office, so to speak.
You know what they did? I had talked to Marty McDaniel at Edgeworth.
Oh, he's on the COG
He's
board.
on-
Well, he should
board.
tell him, he just outsourced all his billing and everything else.
He
He
is
sits
the
and
number one
comes to the
proponent. He
meeting.
is the number one proponent of outsourcing the billing.
He's just,
But outsourcing the billing is going to cost, I think it's the estimates they've gotten are $600 a month to pay 18 bills.
oh, well, I don't know that, but he swears by it. He's
Do you
been,
think this is something that
Right.
Charlotte could take on?
His take, one of the things, and it's not for nothing. His take is that there's value to having it done outside because with such a small office, the potential for fraud is high. So by getting it outside of the office, you limit that potential.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of money to me.
What's the budget?
It's $1 million. I can pull it up. I think
Not a million.
it's not $1 million.
No.
Okay.
Not, I have no idea, but
We
like,
just approved it. I can tell
But
you.
the 18 bills are what?
administrative costs mostly.
I don't,
I don't know what their bills list is.
he has me interested. I'm ready to go to outsources. All this.
That's right.
I agree.
Why don't we outsource?
Here, $115,000.
How much?
That's their
100,000?
annual budget.
You gotta keep in mind too, that with the COG, all of their projects, to the extent they have projects, are pass-throughs.
Right.
It's all reimbursed by the county. It's all county money.
Right.
They just, all they are is a conduit for
Correct.
passing the county money to the
You
municipalities.
have to have them in order to get.
So their operating budget is 12,000 a month, 18 bills, $700-800 max.
And they get audited on each
Yeah.
project by the county auditor, so. I don't know.
Chelsea.
They could get some office efficiencies in there and it could really change what happens.
You know, we sit around and we say to ourselves, it would be great if we were actually doing COG things at the COG meeting. If we were talking about ways that communities could help each other and bringing each other up to date with the problems that we're having, similar to what we did at the presidents and mayors, rather than constantly
How to pay.
figuring out how we're going to deal with this administrator. It's been this way since I started there in January 2014.
That's disconcerting.
The good news is that the COG recycling day is May 2nd. So I'll be there slinging TV sets from 10, from 9 to 1. So if you have anything that needs to be recycled, batteries, paint.
I'll tell you, the last one they did credit.
Down in Sewickley? Yeah.
It
Oh.
was
And they said you
I
were
was there.
slinging TVs.
I seen a literature forms, people have to fill out a form, but they were lined around the
They
whole
were
block.
lined up for block.
We, one went down and they had to turn around and wait in line along.
Mhm.
They always need volunteers. I'm gonna be out of town that week, so I can't volunteer, but they always need.
I have to look and see. I mean, they might have.
10. So if anybody wants to come,
May.
May in Avalon.
Saturday morning.
Avalon by the beach? No.
Yeah.
And that is all.
Okay, thank you. We'll accept that
That's one beach you.
unhappy report. Ambulance Authority,
No report.
sewer project.
Already did it.
We did that.
Okay.
Unfinished business.
Solicitor.
Score.
Solicitor.
I
Do we-
need a minute of your time at the end of the meeting in executive, just to report on the Masonic case.
Okay,
That's your report?
That's my report.
Good.
I'm sticking to it.
And executive.
I move to adopt the whistleblower policy, the anti-fraud policy, the employee cell phone policy, and travel reimbursement policy.
you read them all. Thank you.
Is the cell phone policy, did the changes that we discussed last?
Yeah,
is that in
it's the
here?
last paragraph and that one, and under number 6.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. New business.
Matt, what's the score?
You want to know?
Mm-hmm.
1-0.
New York?
Yes.
Mhm.
Middle, first intermission.
Not so bad.
Uh,
Thank you.
I don't know if it's new business or not, but should we announce that we're having a joint meeting of the board and the authority board on May 7th here? That'll be essentially an executive session.
It's not the whole authority board, just members.
It's all.
Hmm?
Both full boards, both full boards,
Ooh.
10 people.
both full
You
boards.
didn't tell me
And the
that.
solicitor.
Is everybody?
Why? Why not just
don't know.
represent them?
What-
Because both boards, a lot of the topic is going to be the Masonic lawsuit and both boards are being sued.
Not comfortable. Not comfortable.
Well, let's talk about it in executive session.
Okay. New business, action items, audit recommendations. We have listed here audit recommendations, policies, financial management. What's this all?
Those are to be for future. This is just our list to keep us focused for the future. So those will be the policies that I'm working on next.
Okay.
How's our codification coming?
It's at the company.
Sweet.
We'll get something back.
It's great.
When it comes back, we still have to go through an adoption procedure, so we're not done yet, but we're as far as we can go up to this point.
When did it go out to them?
Last month, I mean, I got a card saying they received everything, so a month or a little bit more.
Cool.
All right. Citizen participation. I think you all know what's involved. Anybody have it? Okay. We will go into executive session, which should be fairly short.
It will be.
You want to wait? You want to?